This is the best game that I have played in recent memory. What a Wo's Blade Master here, and I'm sure you would love this replay. I hope I can do it justice with my commentary. But yeah, this has just been, it was such an amazing game that I played against this guy called Minza, but I'm going to call him Minzy. And he's from like some IPL clan. I'm not really sure. I haven't heard of that clan. Probably is like super old and I just have no idea about it. But I've taken Cimmeria and he's taken Pergamon. This is going to be a clash of Black Sea colonies, and it kind of proves how these colonies are just, or sorry, these new factions are just so like fun to play with. The salient feature about all these factions, these new factions, is that they have one or two pretty clear weaknesses, and if you can play one against the other, then each faction can exploit the other's weaknesses, but it goes vice versa. So Cimmeria, they have their strengths in horse archers, but they lack melee infantry or melee cavalry and melee infantry. Pergamon, on the other hand, has some really strong Pergamene noble cav, the shock cav. And they have citizen cav. I mean, Cimmeria has citizen cav as well, but their strength lie in their horse archers and their incredibly strong skirmishers. Whereas Pergamon, strengths lie in their shock cav and in the fact that they have these Agima spears and Thurea spears, whom my opponent has brought. He's brought some hoplites. He's got one Agima spears general. He's brought some Galatian spears, Galatian swords. The fact that he's managed to be able to bring like some Celtic barbarian units as well, or some Galatian units, is amazing. I mean, that's also like helps Pergamon a lot. So I'm moving up in front, Blades using the good old tactic of moving all your three horse archers in one flank and then starting to shoot the enemy's cavalry with heavy shot. And it's just the tired old shit. But what does Minzy do? Usually what people would do is they would use their Galatian spear or their low tier spear to chase after my horse archer, but not Minzy. Minzy just doesn't give a fuck. He's gonna send all of his cavalry out to chase my horse archers, and what he's done is he's corralled them at this one edge of the map. Granted, I made a mistake in pulling them over here because I was being too ballsy. I thought I could get into the rear of his line because he lacked any archers. But now look at this. He's got two cavalry chasing off that step horse archer. He's got one Pergamenes noble cav here. And now my horse archers just don't have any place to go. And they're just going to have to fire and maybe try and get out of here. I spotted a small little gap here. And I think I'm going to exploit it in a couple of seconds. Try and move. Yep, there I remove the skirmish AI. I turn them off of skirmish mode. Trying to exploit this little gap here. But again, he's closed it down really effectively, and bam, there goes two of my horse archers right over there. Because once these guys get caught by any sort of cavalry, they're done. And the other one just ran into a cul-de-sac there. The citizen cav has caught it, and I've lost three of some what could have been really deadly units right off the bat. So well played by Minzy, just using all of his cavalry in the complete balls out move to counter my cavalry. So at the end of the day, how many casualties did he take? 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, and 59. So you can see that tactic actually worked really, really well. Now, meanwhile, I was moving all the way up in front with my line, and he kept kiting back. So now let's take a look at what units I've brought. I've brought 4 Cimmerian heavy archers, and 4 picked peltas on either flank, so a couple on either flank, and then 4 Cimmerian noble infantry, 2 militia hoplites, and 2 step spearmen whom you can see over here. Now he was kiting back like 4 or 5 times during the battle, and now he's finally going to move up in front because he sees that I don't have any horse archers, and I'm going to keep firing on one of his hoplites, just try and focus fire, get some early shots on his hoplites. He's got 3 hoplites, 4 Galatian swords, some Thurea spears, and some more Thurea spears, some Agima spears, and Galatian tribesmen. And now I'm just going to do what Minzy did earlier to me. I'm going to start kiting back with my infantry. But the thing is, he's got some cavalry behind, and he's got some really potent cavalry. But the thing is, what's helpful for me is that I've got some archers and some peltas who are actually pretty decent in melee too. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put one of my militia hoplites up in front, create a defensive line here so that his hoplites cannot move. And I'm going to turn around all my horse archers and then just slaughter these Tarantine cavalry. Just decimating them one volley after another. It's probably only going to take a couple of volleys to completely destroy these units. And there we go, 4 Cimmerian heavy archers just destroying that one Tarantine cav. He did pull away with one more of his Tarantine Cav, but I've got one Step Spearmen who are just going to chase after them. You can see his hoplites just have they can't move past my militia hoplites, so actually they did a really good function there. Here, two of my picked peltas are going to start slaughtering his Thuria Spears. I've also sent one of my Step Spearmen to try and chase off after his Pergamenes Noble Cav, so he had to move back with them really quickly. Now his other Pergamenes Noble Cav is again going to come under just this incredible slaughter of archers. And you can see by the time they got to my archers, they were down to 10 men. I'm moving up with some of my Step Spearmen. This is exactly where they'll shine. I've been able to put them in square formation, so they will be able to create this huge... Look at the size of this blob here. Citizen Cav, Galatian Swords, Tarantine Cav, all of them just blobbed up there. And that's going to create just this huge target for my Cimmerian heavy archers to just destroy. I've sent one more Cimmerian Noble Infantry to hold off these Thuria Spears here. I've also got one picked peltas here, which is firing into the backs of these Thuria Spears while they're engaged with my Step Spearmen and my other picked peltas. Now, I've turned on Precision Shot. He's got some, he's sending some Tarantine Cav and some Citizen Cav to attack my Cimmerian heavy archers and my picked peltas. But I've got my general who's going to follow in. I've turned off formation attack so that they can catch more of these cavalry at one time. And let's take a look at how many kills my Cimmerian heavy archers have got. 22, 50 already, 21, 44. Two of them have got single experience chevrons. One of my picked peltas have got a couple of casualties from that, but again, picked peltas are very, very good at holding out in melee. One of my Cimmerian Noble Infantry is good enough to just hold off this entire massive blob here. And I'm just screening off the rest of his troops. I've got fewer troops than he does, but I've got a ton of archers, and I'm going to have to use them to my biggest advantage. I'm just going to keep destroying his Citizen Cav. You can see how quickly they're dying because of just this huge amount of fire that's going on. And I'm just microing the living balls out of the rest of my Cimmerian Noble Infantry. I have to say, I did a pretty decent job at microing after the initial setbacks there. He's brought his Pergamenes Noble Cavalry from the far edge of the field, but again, I'm getting just a huge number of volleys on them, and they have very low armor, so they will get slaughtered pretty quickly. They have gotten into my Cimmerian heavy archers, which means that they will take a lot of casualties, but I have sent one of my Cimmerian Noble Infantry to catch them. Here, one of my picked peltas died very quickly because he sent one of his hoplites to attack them, but my Step Spearmen are still there in square formation, so they will create this impassable wall. His Tarantine Cav, they're pretty depleted, and my picked peltas were out of ammo by now, so I decided to attack them. Meanwhile, this huge blob here, hoplites, Galatian Swords, will not be able to withstand Cimmerian Noble Infantry. I've killed off his Pergamenes Noble Cavalry. Again, they have that huge weakness. Actually, they're still there at 28 men. They have a huge weakness, but they have a big strength. Their charge is just deadly. 76 charge is huge, but their lack of armor means that if you can get some skirmishes onto them, they will get slaughtered. You can see Cimmerian heavy archers are getting a lot of kills now, and they're starting to rank up very quickly. And here, my Cimmerian Noble Infantry, after that one charge from those Pergamenes Noble Cavalry, got slaughtered. My militia hoplites are starting to waver, but I've got a Step Spearman here, which is in a square formation, so they will be able to last a long time, especially against spear troops. Now, he did attack my general in the rear with one of his Galatian Swords, but I decided to attack his hoplites because they were charging after my picked peltas. I turned on a Warcry because I timed that in with a rear charge, and they're done. His Galatian Swords are they're not going to be much of a bother to me because they are low tier infantry. And yeah, now they started to waver. If I can get another rear charge on them, then that'd be great. But my picked peltas, I think, are out of ammo by this point, so I'm going to attack his Galatian Swords with them. They will start dying pretty quickly, but they have gotten a lot of kills so far. More and more of his hoplites are attacking my Cimmerian heavy archers, but I just got a ton of skirmishes at this point. They are getting a lot of shots on his Agema Spears general, who has engaged with my Step Spearmen. And here his Thuria Spears are going to attack my Cimmerian heavy archers while they were fleeing from this hoplites unit. But again, Cimmerian heavy archers, they've got 55 health, so they will be able to last for a little bit. And I moved one of them here, one of them here. So one of them held up his Thuria Spears while the other one is getting flank shots on his hoplites. And this picked peltas, man, look at how well they're doing. 131 kills, killed off the Galatian Swords unit. At the end of the day, even if they are a low tier swords unit, they are a swords unit, so they should be able to defeat skirmishers. Here his hoplites are running into my Cimmerian heavy archers. I'm pulling them back just in the nick of time. They're going to take a couple of casualties, but I'm sending my Cimmerian Noble Infantry general to attack them. My picked peltas is about to rout this other Galatian Swords unit as well. And here he's using his Intimidate ability on my hoplite walled Cimmerian Noble Infantry. Not like that would make much of a difference, but the big thing is he's moved away with his Agema Spears from my Step Spearmen, so I'm going to have to chase after them. His Thuria spears have been put into square formation, and I'm going to attack them with my Cimmerian Noble Infantry. We've got 270 kills so far, and his Galatian spears just done brilliantly, 143 kills with them so far. But I'm going to charge in with a picked Peltast, a bit too late because I could have rear charged him. But meanwhile, his hoplites are running away from my general, and I'm going to get great rear shots with my Cimmerian heavy archers on them. Going to pop in a war cry and time that in well with those rear shots, so that's going to rout them. I've got one Cimmerian, a couple of Cimmerian heavy archers left, one picked Peltast here, one Cimmerian Noble Infantry, Cimmerian Noble Infantry General, and one depleted Cimmerian Noble Infantry here with only 36 men. And they have gotten 282 kills, so they've done really well. But you know, he's got a basically full strength Agima Spears General, one Thuria Spears which has been holding out for a long time. And they are in box formation. The square formation is going to try and I think it'll probably his general is not in square formation, but his Thuria Spears are. So I mean, it's just a blob of spears, one on each other. One of his Thuria spears got back to the game, but I'm just going to focus all my efforts in destroying this last little blob here. You can see my Cimmerian Noble Infantry are starting to get really depleted. He's got the Warrior General, so if he does decide to pop Warcry, and you can see they're starting to waver there. He's put Intimidate on my general, which is smart because I can't use Warcry on his Thuria spears now. And meanwhile, he didn't need to pop Warcry on my other Cimmerian Noble Infantry because they've decided to rout in any case. I've attacked one of his Thuria spears his last remaining Thuria spears with my Steppe Infantry, and that just shows how awesome these units are. They're so useful because these Thuria spears did have some ammo, and now that I've engaged them, I've just turned on square formation, which means these guys will be able to last for forever. And that means those deadly Thuria Spears infantry will not be able to shower javelins on this pretty vulnerable blob here. His Galatian Spears killed off my last remaining picked Peltast, so I'm going to charge in with my Cimmerian Heavy Archers. Probably not a smart move in hindsight, but I still have some more Heavy Archers here. They're all out of ammo. He's put Warcry on my Cimmerian Noble Infantry a bit too late because these guys, I'm sort of winning this engagement right now, and they are at 91 units. He probably should have put it on my heavy archers here, but they are pretty far away from his general, so he wouldn't have been able to do that. But yeah, I think it's just a huge blob here, and like it came down to the wire. His Galatian spears would be able to defeat my Cimmerian heavy archers because they are pretty depleted, but these units are starting to win. You can see these Cimmerian heavy archers have these spears which actually make them pretty useful against cavalry. But I mean, you definitely don't want them to engage in cavalry. I would much rather a picked Peltast engage a cavalry unit than those guys. But you can see the tide of the battle is starting to slowly turn in my favor. These Thuria spears are starting to waver, and just the quality of my units will start to show here. I've been able to pop a Warcry because the Intimidate ability ran out. It's obviously for a certain amount of time. His Agima Spears General is in square formations. They will take a long time to die. And if he can manage to kill off my Steppe Spearmen here quickly enough, he can start showering some javelins on my general and my Cimmerian Noble Infantry. But at this point I called GG because I managed to kill off his Galatian Spears unit. Such a close game, you guys. It was just such an awesome game to play because after my Steppe Horse Archers died early on in the game, and basically just at the start of the game, I thought there was no way I'd be able to pull it off. And I'm sure some of you would have been wondering, Blade, there's no way you'd be able to pull this off, and I'm pretty proud that I did. I did have to micro the living shit out of my units because it was a bunch of cavalry against a bunch of vulnerable skirmishers, along with some really good hoplites. But yeah, that's the end of this game, you guys. Really, such a fun battle. I haven't played a closer battle in recent memory. Maybe the one with Roman Ronan, the one with the Macedonian pikes. That would have been a pretty close competitor. But here you can see IPL Straznik Mintka. That's a hardcore name. I want to add this guy on my friends list. I completely forgot to add him. I was too preoccupied in saving this replay. Let's take a look at the stats here. 1 and 0 kills on my Steppe Horse Archers just shows what a huge blunder I made. But 89, 105, 81 and 95 kills each on my 4 Cimmerian Heavy Archers. 126, 164, but 37 and 93. So I think all in all, these picked Peltas, even though usually in my game so far, they've been able to outclass my Cimmerian Heavy Archers in terms of kills. In this game, both of them came pretty close. My Cimmerian Noble Infantry did beautifully. These are very nice units to bring. 294, 195, 137 and 102 kills on them each. My militia hoplites can't really expect too much from them, but they managed to hold out that initial hoplite unit, those 3 hoplites at the start of the game. I think the fact that they managed to do that and gave enough time for my Cimmerian heavy archers to start slaughtering his cavalry, that itself won me the game. I think that initial move by these militia hoplites basically, didn't win me the game, but that move actually gave me a fighting chance from that in this game. My Steppe Spearmen, you can see how useful these units are. One of them got destroyed very early, but the other one, I managed to hold out his Three Spears unit at the end of the game, then put it into square formation so that, they just take a shit ton of time to die. So yeah, I stand by my original comment of these Steppe Spearmen being incredibly useful units. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this replay, and let me know if you thought that this was probably one of the best replays that you've seen. I think it was one of the best matches that I played. And yeah, stay tuned for more. Peace.